destroy confidence in the one sector of our economy that is actually producing something in this country, and destroy any privacy that you thought you had on any of these electronic devices.
Back doors are in everything we have. They basically
they wrote the code for the Android smartphone. I mean, we went over that on
the NSA?
on this broadcast. Yeah.
The way that they get these private sector
these are hard drives. They have deep software on the hard drives to steal all your data.
And in the article, this is how they get it. They talk about the source code in building these things. The government, when selling their products to the government, these private sector like Toshiba and all these companies, if they want to sell to the government, they have to actually get it cleared, and so they ask them for the source code, is what they said in the article. And so basically, the source code basically is given to the NSA, and so the NSA, of course, they're going to utilize that information to their benefit. So of course, they have the source code, which now they know how to break the code. And that's how all this stuff happens. And what was this? A Russian company that kind of discovered this? Kaspersky or something?
Yeah, lab.
And they said that they had infiltrated
30 countries.
A couple high-level, really high-level computer
Iran,
devices.
Russia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Mali. I mean, 30 countries, a bunch of them.
And when I read that, I thought, well, I mean...
America.
Yeah,
I don't even care what they do to these other countries.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to be doing.
That's what I was
spying
saying,
on other countries, not America.
Yeah,
we are the target, people.
Yeah, get with it.
Get with it. National security is to make you a slave.
So at least, when reading this, we're like, well, at least they're spying on everyone, not just us, because we know for a fact they are spying on all of us.
No, but now that's destroying confidence in our private tech sector to the rest of the world.
Yeah, so, and I've been talking about this. The private sector better start, the privacy and security is going to be big for tech.
Who in the rest of the world, Idiot America will still buy this stuff, but who in the rest of the world will want to buy it after learning this? I mean, it's Reuters. Come on.
Yeah, it's hurting relationships with our allies.
It's like they want to destroy any relationships that we have with our allies. So then when we're attacked, no one will support us.
Yeah, and we need to stop... let's talk about Iran for just a second. Iran is not a threat to us. Even if there's sleeper cells in this country, it doesn't matter because the country as a whole is not a threat to us. They don't have a nuclear weapon because they won't. Our country and the UN sanctions won't allow them to have a nuclear weapon, even though we gave them a nuclear reactor in the 80s. And by the way, all the countries surrounding Iran do have nuclear weapons. They can defend themselves. So if Iran did have, first of all, I can understand why they would want to have nuclear weapons. If Mexico and Canada had nuclear weapons and the United States didn't have nuclear weapons, wouldn't you think that the United States would want to have nuclear weapons? So it's all about control, and they want to make you fear a threat that's actually that's not a national security threat at all, to demonize the next enemy. And this is all talked about on Congressional Record in Ron Paul's book. So anyone wants to call me out, and even I got buddies they won't debate me on this because they haven't put in the time to read the research and the congressional records. But we need to understand that they're not a threat, and so spying on them really is going to do nothing. That whole Middle East, we've invaded illegally anyway for years. It doesn't matter. Any retaliation they have for us, it's deserved. I mean, really. And I'm a patriot. I own guns, folks, conservatives. I'm a conservative that owns guns, and I'm religious.
Stuart, it goes on in this article. Well, you're an extremist, but...
I guess so. I have food storage. I'm an extremist.
That's very extreme. But... it goes on in this article to say, essentially, the entire market has been compromised now since it's been uncovered that this spy program with software on the hard drives has been exposed. So they've compromised the entire tech market now because these Stasi, Soviet criminal scum from the NSA want to do this illegal spying on everyone.
That should alarm everyone and get people going to say, you know what, I can't politically hide anymore. I can't say, you know what, I'm really against all this stuff, but I'm just not going to talk about it because the government. My buddy, when I did like the little video about Obamacare, he's like, I don't know if you should post that on
They already know.
You shouldn't post that on Harry Reid's Facebook because, I don't want to be like a target of the government. We're all targets of the government. They spy on us constantly. You post your whole life on Facebook. Get with it politically. Start battling this, or be subject to the slavery.
Let's move faster through the news now. VA I Care slogan slammed by veterans, employees, and mockery of reform. So now the VA can put veterans on death lists. We have to wave the flag and say we support the troops and do nothing about the veterans that they're killing after they come home from these illegal foreign wars of aggression.
That's the Band-Aid. Just make the employees, sign. Here's a memo, and this is how we're going to operate now.
I care.
You care, and wear a pin, right? A little button. It says I care. So I guess they care now, but you're still on the death list. You're still on the secret death list.
Remember we covered that one VA hospital, they overprescribed opiates and
by 25%.
Yeah, and they had them all walking around like zombies, stoned out of their mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, not 25%. 25,000. It was 2,000 like 10 years ago. It's 25,000 now that we're overprescribing opiates. They want people to be zombies, and they really need help. These are people that die.
But they have an I care pin on their lapel of their.
Oh, you're right.
Their suit.
We shouldn't even have a discussion. We shouldn't critically think or anything about whether they're lying or whether this is just bureaucratic, a PR stunt to make them look better. Even though the public eye knows, in their heart, people know the veterans are not being taken care of. They are the number one enemy. That's why they're trying to take our guns.
So let's just explain this real quick. We support the troops. We don't support the legal foreign wars of aggression.
We don't support the policy.
Yeah, the policy and the criminal bureaucrats that don't take care of our troops need to be held accountable.
Okay, for our Mexican-American audience, if we just decided that we're going to go take over Mexico and invade them illegally, let's just put this in perspective, would you support our troops even though it was completely illegal and they never attacked us? Would you support it? Does that mean we just need to support our government no matter what? That is Nazi style. That's a Nazi-style platform. That's a nationalistic,
totalitarian.
Completely, you die for your country no matter what.
The state is God.
Defensive wars are it's real easy to get someone to defend their homeland. That's why it's so difficult for us to win this war in the Middle East, because we've invaded Holy Land. They are on a jihad because we've invaded their countries. Don't be ignorant and say, I'm not an American, I don't support the troops. Stop being uninformed and ignorant. And remember, I'm a conservative that owns guns. You don't know our policies. You're not willing to read the books in the congressional record. Just tell yourself this, and then you can tell yourself it first, and then you can complain. So at least you'll know that you're just being a hypocrite and saying, I know that I need to research this stuff, but I won't. I'm just going to say USA, no matter what. I'm going to listen to Obama.
As the NSA spies on you, and everything's fine. No one gets in trouble. They kill the troops when they come home at the VA. No one gets in trouble.
Support no matter what for the government. By the way, Obama is a criminal scum, and he's a dictator. And why would you want to fight for him? If you're in the military, you should at least be questioning him. At least, so he's our commander-in-chief, so at least question him. Okay, don't just blindly follow because you think ISIS is bad because they did some videos cutting off people's heads. Listen, understand your history and the policy of the United States first, and then, and I'm sorry, we have some of the best people that go into the military, and they are going to come back and not be taken care of because these wars are not defensive. There's no national security risk. Now there is, though, because we've been there for 40 years invading countries. People are pissed off at us, but truly defensive wars are popular. You don't even need a draft. If someone invaded my country, I would be defending my community with my guns if a foreign enemy came into my country. Wouldn't you agree, Sam? Wouldn't you too? Defend your own...
you would have to at that point.
I mean, yeah. Why do you think it's so hard to win?
Self-defense is moral. Attacking people is
for no reason.
For no reason, yeah.
To bring freedom and democracy.
Yes, to spread your ideology.
Sorry to go on that rant, but I had to get it out, and we'll continue to cover this because read your books, folks. Read Congressional Record. We're going to break. WeaponizedNews.com. We'll see you on the other side.
And now back to Weaponized News. And now it's the fourth quarter. And this is what we call crunch time. And now back to the show.
Thank you for joining us. This is Weaponized News. Visit weaponizednews.com. We appreciate the station and our advertisers and people who support us and people who don't support us but listen and try to find fault in our arguments. That's fine too. We like liberty. We love freedom. We want a free market, freedom of speech. We love guns here. We're pro-Constitution. We are against foreign illegal wars that we have to pay for. It's foreign welfare for the elites. It's welfare for foreign governments, special interests, and the elite. Truly defensive wars are popular and usually end pretty quickly if they're moral. But we've been in the Middle East meddling for so many years that, of course, these people that live there, they're never going to give up. Get that through your head. We need to bring all the troops home now. Now, out of all the countries we occupy, bring them home. And, folks, one more thing, because we have to go over the hypocrisy. It's such a huge issue, especially with the news we're going to go over in a little bit about the use of military force. If the border is not closed, you cannot be occupying a bunch of nations and getting mad when people are infiltrating your country, when your border, our own national security, actual national security issues are not being addressed. The border's wide open. Why aren't Marines on the border? Why aren't they on the border? I don't want one more person sent to another country to die for special interests until we lock down the border. And I never want them to go anyway, but I'm saying we need to lock down the border. This ISIS situation, it doesn't matter. The border is wide open. Wake up. Stop being, don't just say USA, USA, wait for football season, everything will be okay. Get with it. Start reading.
We're in serious trouble in this state, in this country, Stuart. If you work for the government, listen up. They are going to take your pension fund, okay? This was just a ruling last week. The California Public Employees Retirement System, a Stockton bankruptcy judge ruled that the decision could dramatically change the way pensions are handled in future bankruptcy proceedings. This is an article out of Reason. I suggest you go read it, but it goes on to say that when California cities go bankrupt, pensions can be cut. It didn't happen in this case, but it set the precedent for future